it's JJ. This is year 5 and 6 fundamentals. We're doing 1 foot balance and this is lesson 2. Let's get warm. Okay, follow along with me. I'm going to put the music on. Now, so, to start with, I'm going to go with my knees.
Every time I hear this groove, it makes me wanna move. What's this feeling? It brings to you. It makes you do what you do. I know I can't keep still, so I'm trying to hold it within. When it does, I start to feel the next thing I
Last lesson, let's just have a little recap. We did our standing on our leg for 30 seconds each leg, alright? We did it with our eyes closed, just like that. And we did our balancing on one leg squats all the way down to 90 degrees and then back up, both legs. Brilliant. What are we doing with footed balance? Just as a reminder, someone tell me? Yeah, superb. We're doing it for our health, so we have a reduced risk of getting injured, so we're not going to fall over as much, more agile. And we use it for our sports as well, so when we're kicking a football, when we're in netball, we're doing footwork rule, basketball, ice skating, all of those different sports. Now, a little bit of a fun challenge to start us off today. You are going to need a ball. So we need, use a big ball or a small ball. And the small ball is a little bit harder. I'm going to use that one. If you want to make it a little bit easier for you, use the big ball, all right? All we're going to do is balance on one of our legs. We're going to try both legs because we need to practice with both. And all you can do is just throw and catch the ball in the air. Now, remember our key points on balancing. We need to make sure that our back is straight, our head is up. Now, we are going to wobble a little bit more because we're going to be tracking the ball where it is. But remember, this part is static, 1 foot balance. We don't want to be jumping around because that makes it dynamic, all right? So if you wobble in, that's fine. If you start jumping, put your foot down, reset, and let's go again. So, 30 seconds on your right leg, 30 seconds on your left leg, and then we're going to move on to our main skills. Here we go, so 30 seconds. Are we ready? I'll start you with my timer. Here we go, 3, 2, 1, go. So we're balancing. Now remember, you are going to wobble, and we're just trying to catch. See how many catches you can get. There we are. So we're tracking the ball, so it's going to be a lot harder. But remember, back straight, your head's still up because you're tracking the ball. Now I'm doing it with one hand and catch, but do it with two if you're finding it difficult. Okay, I'm just going to set myself, and that is 30 seconds. Lovely. Now let's try on the other leg. You ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Same things apply. Put it up. There we are. Bit of a wobble. Back straight, making sure our head is up. We definitely don't want to have our head down. We're trying to track this ball and catch it. Remember, no jumping around though, because then it becomes dynamic. We're trying to stay static from this point. See what the time's saying? And there we are, there's our 30 seconds. Well done, guys. How many catches did you manage? Wicked. Okay, let's move on to our main skills. Remember, if you found anything last week difficult and you still need to have more practice, pause this. Take your time on practicing last week's, go and watch last week's lesson, because everything we do from now is going to be a progression from last week. So if you still think there's something, so you were struggling with the squats, or you were struggling with the 30 seconds eyes closed, go back and practice that before you move on. Alright? Cool. So, let's move on to our progressions this week. We have got to start with, our first skill is 30 seconds each leg on an uneven surface. Now, I've got this, I think it's a balance cushion. You guys can just use a normal cushion, you can use a jumper, you can use anything at home that makes it a little bit uneven. Now it's going to be a little bit easier for you if you don't have one of these, it's really hard. But still the same concept, like 1-footed balance, back straight, head up. Alright? So you're going to stand on your uneven surface and we're going to go for 30 seconds. Now I'm going to give you 1 minute practice. And that is, you have to try and balance on your right leg and your left leg, and then after the 1 minute we'll try for 30 seconds on each leg. But remember, this is really, really hard. I don't think I'll be able to do 30 seconds. So if you guys can't do 30 seconds, do not worry, we're going for our personal best. So that might be 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Or you might be really, really good at it, and then we've still got progressions to go afterwards, alright? So 1 minute, your time starts now. minutes practice. Now we're going for our goal, which is 30 seconds on each leg. Now remember, if you do need to have a little bit of support, you can do, but our ultimate goal is not to use the support, and you're trying to get your personal best. So even if it's 5 seconds without any support or anything like that, that's good. Okay, and you move on. Brilliant. So moving on, our next skill is 30 seconds on each leg with our eyes closed. Okay. Now this is going to be horrendously horrible. It's going to be so hard, but we're going to give it a go. I'm probably going to get about 3 seconds, so do not worry if you don't get. But it's my personal best, and I'm going to try and get better than 3 seconds by practicing. So we're going to go for it. Again, 1 minute practice, and then we'll target. Now remember, back straight and keeping our head up. We're not going to be able to focus on something like we did last week, and we said last week about keeping it, but back straight, neck up, okay, and making sure that we're trying. So, here we go. You've got 1 minute to practice. Go. Brilliant. We've had our 1 minute practice time. Now it is 30 seconds challenge time, right? So we're trying to hit it for 30 seconds. Remember, yes, support is there if needed, but remember, our ultimate goal is trying to get our personal best. So if you don't get 30 seconds, you only get 5, try and better on that. If you are finding it easy and you do get the 30 seconds, this is the extension that you're going to move on to. Alright? So we're going with, it is 5 of the squats we did last week at 90 degrees. However, you must, when you come back up, go onto the ball of your foot and then back down. Alright? 5 of these on each leg. Now I'm going to give you a bit of a demonstration. We're going to see how many I can do. Okay, so this is my strong leg. Okay, that's 5 on each leg. You guys are going to have 1 minute to practice those. Brilliant, good practicing. So our target for this week on that exercise is 5 on each leg. If you only manage to do 5 on a strong leg and weak leg, it doesn't matter. Practice, practice, practice is here. Lock down those skills. Now, we're going to move on to a game, all right, that everyone can play. So if you've only done the first exercise, the first skill, you're still recapping, come back in. Let's do this, all right? So you are going to need a family member. So I'm just going to mask it up. Alright, I'm going to get my family member in. Family member. Georgia is my family member today, alright? And this game is called the mirror game. Now, obviously, my family member's here. First of all, what we're going to do is we're going to do a routine, alright? We've come up to together, alright? So our first routine, Georgia, are you ready? So we're going to start 3, 2, 1. Is we're coming out here to the start. 1. Then we're going to come in nice and close. 2, 1. And out to the T shape. 2, 1. Now, with your family member at home, you need to practice that, holding each position for 3 seconds. And 3 movements in your routine. You need to practice so your feet don't hit the floor and you're not wobbling about. Try and make it as still and static as you possibly can. Remember, toes pointing, our hands are pointed, alright, a little bit of gymnastics in there for you there, so you need to make sure we're pointing our toes at all times. We're going to move on, alright, once you've done that, I'm going to give you 1 minute right now to practice your routine with your family member. Go. You've just had your time on making your combinations in your routines. Now what we're going to move on to is a little bit, it's not going to be as nice, alright? You're now playing against your family member. So one person is going to be the leader, so you're going to play follow the leader. Still the mirror game. However, the first person to drop loses. So the first person to put their foot on the floor, instead of balancing on one foot, loses, alright? I'm going to be the leader, and George has got to copy everything I do, alright? George, are you ready? Alright. Okay. I can tell you're so determined to win. My phone just dropped, so I lose, my foot just hit the floor. Okay, so George gets the win. You guys need to go and play a few games, alright? Pause this video right now before we recap. Go to have a few games, practice, and make sure that you win. Make sure you've got to win, okay? Remember, back straight, head up, and they're not going to have a chance, alright? Lock down those skills. Recap time now. Let's go through what we've done this lesson. So, we did a little bit of the game at the start by balancing on one leg and throwing and catching. We did our 3 skills, which were 30 seconds on each leg on an uneven surface, so you could open your jumper, alright? Then it was 30 seconds on each leg, uneven surface, but with our eyes closed, which really, really hard, alright? And we did our 5 squats going down and then onto our tiptoes. We need to do 5 of them on each leg as our target. Remember, you can pause, rewind, practice for as long as you want. You can go back to the last lesson. If you have not got a skill and you haven't hit the target yet, just don't move on yet. Practice, 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 because that's the only way you're going to get better. And finally, we played a little game at the end, the mirror game, alright? I've been JJ from Fiesta, and I'll see you next lesson.